How to record 8 channels of drums if your room is super small or it sounds bad. Today I'm going to show you how. Today I'm going to show you my favorite way to record drums with 8 channels if you have a really small room or your room just doesn't sound good. This drum miking technique focuses on the overheads and close miking to give you a ton of detailed control and just ignoring the room in general. This video also wraps up my 10 video series where I show a bunch of different ways to record drums with a low channel count. So if you've missed any one of those videos, I'll have a link to them all down in the description. Also, if you've been following along this entire time, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching my videos and I genuinely hope they're helpful to you. With all that said, here's the drums. Now I'm going to show you a great way to mic a drum set with 8 mics if you don't have a good room mic or a good room to track your drums in. This is just a close mic, kind of more modern configuration that will lend itself to be a little drier. So to start, I've got 2 mics on my kick drum. I have an Audix D6 on the kick out, probably about 2 fingers away, and this is just on the drum head itself. It's not in the port. And then inside the port, I have a Beta 91. This is kind of a boundary microphone. It sits on little rubber feet and just goes underneath there, and it picks up all the batter you could ever want. So that kind of gives you the punch, and then the kick out gives you all the low end and warmth. On the snare, I have a pair of 57s. So this top 57 is gonna get all of the smack and attack of the drums. It's about 3 fingers from the rim and parallel to the rim pointed at the center of the drum. So that'll give you the most kind of smack and low end. And then mirrored on the bottom, I have another 57, and this is gonna get all of the snare sizzle and crack. Again, another 3 fingers of space and just pointed at the bottom. So together, you almost have an XY on either side of the snare, and this is going to help when you flip the phase on the bottom or the top to align both of them. For toms, we basically have a close mic on each one, so pointed basically between the center and the rim, about 2 fingers worth of space there. Same thing on the floor tom here, about 2 fingers worth of space, halfway between the center and the rim. That'll give you a good balanced floor tom sound. And then for my overheads, I have a pair of SM81s in an XY pattern. So this is gonna eliminate any possible phase issues between these 2 mics. And the controversial thing here is they are not centered on the kit, they're centered on the snare. So if you look at this, it's basically a diagonal above the kit. It's kind of hard to see. But what I'm trying to do with these mics is basically draw a line down the kick and the snare and mic along that line. So that'll keep the kick and the snare both centered in the stereo image. And then you have basically this cluster of things here, you know, hi-hat, rack tom, crash if we had one. And then this cluster of things over here, the ride and floor tom and whatever else, you know, if you have a second tom on the other side. So that's how I tackle my overheads. And again, the idea for this configuration is just use all 8 of your inputs on close mics and really reinforce the kick and the snare to get good transients and good punch, because you can always add samples or a room element or anything like that later, assuming you're not in a space that sounds good as a room or you don't have any room mics that would work. So that's a good way to use 8 mics to get a drum sound. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope it was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments and I'll answer as best I can. Also, if you're interested in booking a one-on-one coaching session with me, that's a service that I offer where I help people with music production, mixing, and Logic Pro. I have a link to that down in the description if you want to learn more about that. Otherwise, I really appreciate you sticking around for this video series, and please let me know if you have any other questions or would like to recommend videos for the future. I'm always looking for new ideas. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.